Hey, how's it going, YouTubers? Welcome to my first update to the out of your comfort zone group build. If you remember, I was doing the P47 Thunderbolt Eileen, and I only just got started on it. Basically, I've been busy with other projects trying to finish them off and stuff. But anyway, basically I've cleaned up all the parts. Everything's cut out and all in here, basically, all glued together what needs to be glued before painting, and other ones are cleaned up, just the mold lines and filled things and whatever needs to be done. So it's all ready for painting, basically. I've been working on the interior, which is why I'm doing this vid, because I'm about ready to close it up. So I thought I'd do a video before I do close it up. Nothing too spectacular. It is a nice kit, but I mean, I suppose being 72nd scale, you can't ask for too much. But I've got, slide a little bit. Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, it's all sort of weathered up and stuff. Like I said, nothing too spectacular. The interior sides. I don't even know what they are, buttons, knobs, levers, little pouch there for his lunch or whatever it is. But yeah, once it's all closed up, you're not going to see a lot of it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I managed to get myself a little pilot, thanks to Atomic Dog 32, Brian. He sent me this little fella with no legs. Which is fine because sorry, excuse me. Which is fine because you're not going to really see his legs that much anyway. But he's pretty well detailed, so that's cool. Apart from the hole in his belly button, it's been prematurely shot. But once it goes in the cockpit, I mean, even if he did have legs, it wouldn't matter because they're not going to match up with the pedals that are there. So I mean, they must have sat really wide open legged in these seats. But anyway, and also he's holding something, I don't know, maybe that's his lunchbox, I don't know. But yeah, once it goes in there, you're not going to really see anything, so it's no big deal. So yeah, thanks for that, Brian. Got this piece here painted, which is the top of the seat. Sorry, my big fingers are in the way because it's very small pieces. The engine's painted and weathered up a bit, and again, you're not really going to see much of that once it goes into the cowl, which is here. So you pretty much just see the front end of it. And the cowl is painted with its interior colour, which is different to the interior green. It's a bit yellower. Yeah, well, I painted that because basically this needs to, which is the next step, to seal everything up in there and put the wings on and get everything, all the seam lines prepped, cleaned up and stuff, and the lines rescribed, all that business. And then the engine's got to go on here, obviously, and then this will go over the top, and then I'll fill up this cavity and this cavity and be ready to paint. I don't know if that's the way it's normally done, but that's the way I'll do it. It's like, that's the way I see to do it. I don't know. It's the only way I know how to do it. I suppose you could paint them separately and then stick them together, but then you're not going to get a uniform colour like that. And I haven't even checked, but where there's the two colours, if it goes over this, obviously you're not going to get the lines lined up and all that stuff. So yeah, I'll have to have a look at it, make sure whatever, if it is a completely separate colour, because it's got that checkerboard pattern on there, maybe I can do it separately. Make it easier. Anyway, no big deal, you don't want to hear about that crap. Well, this is going to be in flight, so if you remember from previous video, I'm guessing you probably wouldn't, but if you did, yeah, it's going to be in flight, so the landing gear will be up. and all the doors closed and stuff, so that'll make it easier and a bit quicker. And I mean, not that I'll really care about doing it and painting it. I like detail painting, but it's always annoying when you got the gear down and you break things and they don't glue in properly and all that good stuff. And yeah, as far as the diorama goes, I'm still thinking I want to have it sort of, you know, with the clouds sort of above the clouds, I guess, with clouds around it, or whatever. I don't know how accurate that is, but it doesn't matter. And possibly being shot down, or, you know, taking on a bit of bullet holes or some damage, something like that. And yeah, and that's it really. So that's all I've got for the moment, and hopefully I'll have an update for you fairly soon. Alright, I'll catch you later. Okay, so I got a bit of progress done on the Thunderbolt. I've been really slow with this, basically because I haven't had a lot of modelling time, and I've just been sort of unmotivated to do anything. I've got so many projects going on, and it's just like I'm looking at them and thinking, no, I don't want to do that, don't want to do that. And then you open up something else. So, you know, you all know the story, it happens to everybody, but I mean, even as far as posting videos and stuff on YouTube, I just haven't had the motivation and the time really, so I apologise for that, but I have got a little bit of progress done from what you saw previously, which would be in the same video. Basically, I've put it all together, and I did mention how I wanted to paint these two parts separately or glue them together. I decided to do them separately. I just thought it was easier that way. So what I basically did is fixed up all the seams. I filled in the cockpit area with some cotton wool, and filled this in here with some, I think, some poster tack just to stop the paint from going in. And then we primed it, and then we put down a neutral grey colour from Tamiya, which actually went down pretty nice. Looks a bit grainy in this video, but I think that's from the clear coat. The actual Tamiya stuff went down really smooth. It was a fresh bottle, so I guess that's why. Anyway, once I've done that, I then masked off with some poster tack again, just to get like a, you know, sort of soft masking around here and here and everywhere else, even along the sides of the wings here. And then I went with the Model Air range, which is the first time I've used this. It's US AF green, which, from what I understand, is supposed to be the right colour for this, but I mean, it was used straight out of the bottle in the airbrush, done. There was didn't need any thinning or anything, so seemed to work alright. Like I said, it's the first time I've ever used the Model Air range. I mean, I don't know if I really get any more of it. It's not like it's you know, super paint or anything, but I think for, you know, things like planes and military stuff, maybe where they've actually got the right colour, like this for example, you know, USAF green. If it's the right colour, then, you know, I'll probably go with it. Otherwise, I'll just use what I've got. Simple as that. Anyway, so yeah, once all that was done, I put a clear coat on it, and then started the decals, which were atrocious. I mean, I was warned by many people that decals are crap on the Academy kits, and it wasn't like I didn't believe them, but I just wanted to give it a go. And some of them laid down alright, but when you've got curves and stuff and little things that it needs to go over, yeah, that's where you got trouble. Like, you need a lot of microsol, or actually I used the Mark Softer, No, sorry, I did use Microsol. Microsoft I use for Japanese kits. The Microsol I use for American stuff, which tends to be thicker decals, which is what this is, thick decals. So yeah, just a side note there. These Mark Setter, Mr. Mark Setter, and Mr. Mark's Softer are basically the same as Microset, Microsol, but I find the Microset and the Microsol is a lot stronger, and it seems to work better for the thicker decals, whereas the Mark Setter and Mark Softer seem to work better with the Japanese decals, which are a lot thinner, like Tamiya, for example. It doesn't. I find the Microsol's too strong for it, and it destroys them. Anyway, that's just a side note. So yeah, after repeated applications, and you can see it's kind of crappy, it's just torn and all that sort of business, but being in black and white, I think I can probably touch those up and you'll be none the wiser. Or maybe not, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be weathered anyway, so I'll just cover up the spots that didn't work well. The Eileen one didn't come out too bad, same with the WZ and the S. It's just basically where there was sort of compound curves and stuff. This checkerboard one was a pain in the ass. Oh, excuse the language. Pain in the butt, I should say. As you can see, it's just riddled with all sorts of crappiness. I still need to sort of soften this down a bit more on the edge and trim it back, and paint the black and white where it's missing, like right there, where it doesn't really cross over correctly. Maybe I didn't do it right, I don't know, but whatever. Like I said, I'm going to be weathering, so the weathering should hide all the stuff that I missed. Or even here, I mean, even the white, it's not very opaque, so you can sort of see through it. I mean, you can see right there at that angle. It would have been better to paint these stripes, for example. It would have been a lot more work, but not all that difficult. But I did want to give the decals a go. I mean, obviously, whoa, nearly dropped it. Obviously, for things like this and the Eileen and the numbers, you use the decals, but I don't see why you couldn't if you wanted to paint in the stripes. But anyway, that's where we stand at the moment. Probably about halfway. We've still got all the ordnance to do, and well, the wheels are not using because it's in flight. Which you can see I've put in the landing gear doors and the back one here, so it will be in flight. One thing I forgot to do was work out a spot where I'm going to actually mount it, put a rod in it or something, so that's going to be a bit tricky to do it later. I was planning to maybe like have a rod sort of stuck inside and then coming down to give it a bit of support, but I think we're just going to have to go with just a drill a hole and stick it on. That's what you get for not thinking. Still got the propeller in here, which I'm not sure if I'm using yet, because like I said, I do want to have this in flight. So I've been looking at those, like the propeller blur stuff. I did look at the photo etch ones, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go that route or not. I might make my own with sort of transparencies and try print to get an image of a prop blur and print it on there, or I may even just airbrush it myself, get a clear disc and just airbrush the mask it off and airbrush the, what have we got, 4 blades? Yeah, 4 blades. So yeah, not sure what I'm doing with that yet, but maybe if I do put on the prop and then maybe behind it have the blur. So yeah, I don't know, I haven't really decided, but we'll work that out. It's pretty much like a last thing to do nearly. So yeah, next thing for me to do is probably give it another, maybe a gloss coat again, just to seal in, well, once I finish sort of painting and fixing up the decals, give it another gloss coat, start doing the weathering, give it a flat coat, and then we got to obviously mount it, put it on some sort of base, and maybe make a little nameplate for it or something, Weathering wise, I'm not sure if I'm going to do sort of some post shading or whether I'm going to have it as, I was thinking of putting some bullet holes, kind of like it's being shot down and have a bit of smoke coming out of it. Yeah, so it's still up in the air at the moment. That's probably why it's taken so long for me to do this, because I don't really know, I haven't really decided what I'm doing, sort of just, you know, working off the cuff sort of thing. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing any washes for panel lines, or maybe a bit of post shading. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. What else? That's pretty much it. Once all that's done, I'll give it a flat coat, maybe some pastel work, and should be done. So another 6 months. We'll try to get things rolling a bit quicker in here. Okay, that's it. So hope you guys enjoy that, and until the next one, I'll catch you guys later.